Hey again, everybody. Hey Reformulate, hey Ramo, and hey Schwartz. So, just going to pick up where we left off earlier. I've been pretty happy with the progress today. I had taken medication, by the way, before this morning's stream, and I did not take some before now. So, maybe, I don't know, we'll see if that has an impact. Did I have a nice break? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I have a vacation command that talks about it a little bit. I should maybe see if there are some pictures I could share. I don't want to share any with people in them unless it's just me, I guess. Actually, I got a really nice shot. This is just a nice aesthetic photo. It's not necessarily indicative of where I went, but I really, really like this photo. This one. Oh, is my monitor not refreshing? There we go. Yeah, check this out. I really, really like the contrast of the dark red bark and the green mossy bark. Good shot I took. Anyway, yeah, we're just gonna pick up where we left off. So let's see. Instances should track much of the state that the battle currently tracks, total stages, etc. We'll take a look at that. Which part of the Camino? I'm going for 12 days in March. We went from Leon to Santiago. And that ended up being whatever, about 300 kilometers. So if you're going to do 12 days, depending on your pace, you might also be starting from the same general area. My very, very strong recommendation after having done this is don't just treat it like a regular hike, a 12-day long hike. Like it's some kind of experience, and what kind of experience you want is up to you. But for some people it's social, for some people it's religious. And I think if you go there just expecting to walk and do nothing else, that it'll probably be a really sucky time. Hey, Orgnash. Yeah, I am back. I it, it's Wednesday. I'm saying that not for the people who are watching live, but anyone watching this in the video. It's Wednesday, and on Monday I did my first stream back, but I've been sick, and it ended up being a very low energy, like not super productive stream. Today seems like it was a normal first stream, so I'm gonna try to just be back on the regular schedule. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Man, I wonder if that guy's still making videos. Well, maybe it's not the same guy, but there was a guy who was making videos in the same general vein for like every week for a very long time. Ready to play this game? You could technically play it now, but I highly recommend against doing that. Oh, he streams too? Cool. Yeah. Yeah, you could play it through itch, but the reason I recommend not doing it is because we got a lot of feedback already and I haven't incorporated it yet. So in about a month, I would suggest trying it then at checkpoint number 2, which I'm hoping launches in about a month, but maybe it'll be about a month and a half. Yeah, I don't know too much about the different routes. Hey, Darkstorm, welcome back. I don't know too much about the different routes, but if we were ever to do this again, we wouldn't do the exact same one. We met people who were on their third or fourth Camino. Just, I don't know. There was a guy who they just did it for a month, and then his wife was going to be busy for the next few weeks, and he's like, "Oh, I might do another one of these for a week." And I was like, "What?" I just can't imagine getting done with 4 weeks, 5 weeks of walking and saying, "You know what? I'd like to do another week." It's just a little too much. I felt done after 2 weeks. I think that was a good amount of time. Then again, I feel like maybe you encounter something new in your own psyche or your personality if you do it for 4 weeks or 5 weeks at a time. Fatudi, thank you for resubbing. Welcome back. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a good time. I'm glad I got the vacation. I'm glad I'm back. I am also glad to be just kind of in mostly sound mental capacity again and not totally sick state. And I'm excited about all this stuff. Yeah. So I'm a happy camper right now. All right. So I want to move some of this stuff to a different spot. Total stages, definitely. Hey, 3D extended. C# sucks, use Rust. I always wonder, are you just going into stream saying that stuff? It's totally fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. I don't want this here. Same thing with current stages, which I think, yeah, there's There it is. I think this should be in the instance stuff. Where do we check this? Check for end of battle? Yeah, I think this stuff should be moved. I'm gonna move this to instance. Yeah, time to rewrite. Imagine if I'm like, wait a second, and delete all the code. It's just an endless loop of rewriting your code. We'll never be done. Oh man. Yeah, I want to move this. Let's just start by moving some stuff and we'll kind of see where the dust falls on this. But yeah, I think instance is what should have the number of stages. So let's move that there. It can still be private. That part's fine. And then the current stage. And we'll put that here. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, let's just not make a game and just tell people to imagine a game. I think that's probably the smartest idea. Okay, so now total stages. This got initialized, I think, by the instance, right? Yeah, it did. And there were two different ones of these. This is peculiar. We'd pass in the number of stages each time. 10/10 would imagine this game again. You know, I'm a little disappointed, Raimu, because if we're imagining things and we can go beyond 10. So I would have expected like a 30 out of 10 or, you know, a Graham's number out of 10, but kind of a disappointing score, to be honest. You know what? Let's just pack in the stream. Raimu didn't really like the game. Yeah, we can imagine that he wrote 30 though. All right, it's good. Let's keep going. Let's keep streaming. So we don't need this stuff here. I guess every instance that we're going to create is going to have 3 stages for now. Do we have any other inits here? Yeah, here. All right, so how about we just set this to 3? In fact, there's probably a comment somewhere talking about that. Maybe not. Yeah. Oh, nice. Thanks, Raimu. That's a pretty good rating. Also, hey, Phil. I think I missed your hey, guys, because of Fatuti's resub. Yeah. I am excited to see what people say as the checkpoints keep going here. Because the feedback for the first checkpoint, it's not like it was bad. It was just 1 month of work. And I think I've mentioned this time and again, but it's really, really hard when you're streaming or creating any kind of content to get everybody on the same page. And one of the key messages I was trying to communicate was, this was 1 month of work. We had to cut corners. There are things here that are not going to be the final decisions. And there were still lots of comments like, hey, the game doesn't have music. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to do that in 1 month. And it's not a bad comment. It's like, yeah, if you just take the game at face value, you should give feedback on pretty much everything. So I think every checkpoint that passes, there's less and less that I have to say, okay, envision that we've done sound effects, music, etc. We'll eventually just have it. Okay, current stage needs to be set as well. Where do we start this? Oh, it gets set to 1 by default. Okay. Go to next stage. Yeah, all of this stuff should be shifted to instance. I should probably apply a little bit more thought as I'm doing this too. I mean, let's just move it for now, but I do want to take a look at how we're going to change this. This was private. It can probably still be private, but we got to have a signal for this. On battle transition finished. Where were you and what did you do? Probably the instance had something. This wouldn't be needed anymore. Yeah. I think we can delete that. Then we invoked this with filter battlers by team. This is something that the battle system is going to have to do now. There was an event after the tween finished, yeah. What is the game? Check out the Skell command. Hopefully that works. By just saying to check it out, yeah, nice, it worked. Okay. Yeah, you can just click that link. And if you have any questions after that, feel free to ask. It's totally fine. Okay. So go to next stage deferred. What had called this originally? Here. So there was an await, and then we would call this. We could, okay, there are a couple things we could do here. I think we're going to end up deleting this because this 2000 millisecond delay was meant to simulate that we have, you know, where there's some stuff happening. And I think a little bit of this is going to change. But yeah, go to next stage is another thing that's going to be done from the instance because the instance is going to know about stages. So let's keep moving stuff. We'll eventually, wait, what was that? Threading task. Yeah. We'll eventually get through this. All right, now what about you? Where are you coming from? Initialize events was in the instance. Yeah, so these things aren't going to be needed because we'll know that they were done. When the adventurers defeat all enemies on the current stage and are about to move to the next one. Yep. Okay. We should still have a bunch of errors, but hopefully they should be gone from battle system. Are they? I think so. No. These are still here. Okay, check for end of battle. If team has no members alive, we either go to the next stage. Okay, this is something the instance is going to do now. So this isn't really on battle ended. Well, actually, I guess it is on battle ended, and we'll just need to change how this is done. I hope only instance listens to this. Yes. So we're going to need to put something in here for this. There. This will actually be eventually be replaced when you add the pathfinding, assuming you want to make the adventurers actually walk to the next room. Yeah, and I think that's a good idea. I think it would look the best. I think it'd be the clearest about what's happening. There is kind of one problem with that though. I didn't think about this. But let's say you have 3 adventurers. You have, you know, your typical rogue, mage, warrior. And in the first room, the rogue dies. So the mage and warrior walk to the next room. What happens to the rogue's corpse? like if you could revive it, then its corpse should move, right? I don't actually know. I see more of the game. What keyboard are you using? Would you recommend it? Looking for a split type and really struggling to decide on something? Hey, Topher, I'm using a Korn keyboard, and I would definitely recommend it. However, if you have the, well, for one, I made not only this video that you see here, but then also this video in the description of that one called My Keyboard Journey. I'd suggest watching one or both of those. In the My Keyboard Journey one, at one point I talked about an idea that, I'll just show you this. Where is it? I don't know. Anyway, there was somewhere where I just like pulled a bunch of keys off the keyboard. I could have sworn where's this? Huh. Yeah, I don't remember where exactly I had it. Anyway, if you have a keyboard with the same general shape, yeah, I can't find it. You can just pry off a bunch of keys and see what it'd be like to buy a keyboard like this. If you have a traditional keyboard, it's going to be much harder for you to do that because even if you pry off the keys, it's not going to be the same shape as this. You're not going to have like 3 different thumb keys, for example. Anyway, there are the resources though. Feel free to check them out. Let me know if you have any questions. I feel like I'm contributing to the number of small keyboard users in the world. But yeah, I think it's great. Anyway, yeah, they pick up the corpse is kind of, I feel like the only thing that would have to happen. Granted, even in the case before where there's like a teleportation, I guess you would teleport the corpse. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to animate them picking up the body of the dead adventurer. Maybe the adventurer just comes to life and then moves to the next room. Like after the end of each stage, they revive themselves. That might not be too bad. Maybe that's what we do. I don't know. I kind of want to write that down somewhere. Maybe I'll just say file this note. Consider auto-reviving each player character at the end of each battle stage so that they can walk to the next room themselves. If not for that, then their corpse somehow has to move, or else they would cease to be revivable. Yeah, I don't know what we want to do there, but not a problem for right now. All right, is battle system error free? Yeah, I think so. All right, so we call go to next stage. Now this would set paused on the battle system, which technically we have the battle system, right? Yes. And is paused is probably private. It's not actually private. Oh, it's private set. But I think I might end up deleting some of this. So I think I want to change this. Is anything setting this right now? Nothing's even using this yet. All right, let's just make this completely public. Will there be a revive anyway? There certainly could be. You could imagine like a healer class that has something like heal, single target, maybe a buff, and maybe there's some like chance on ally death to revive them or something like that. Although I know the way that this is framed, you wouldn't need to move a corpse because either they get revived or they don't. But yeah, a revive could totally be in the game. Also, actually, what Topher just said in the stream, I should probably write this down and make sure it's in the make sure there's a question in the FAQ about this. Yeah, some kind of, I mean, it's easy enough to imagine an ability like that. And there are certain things where it's like, I feel like we don't need to be too creative. You know, we were just talking about damage types, like what if you had a fire and poison attack? And I was like, yeah, let's just simplify that. But something like a revive is really just set their life from 0 to 1. It's pretty easy. So yeah, I think there could be an ability that does that. So if is paused is over here, then we can use it in this. And then anywhere that is pause would have been battle system dot is pause. Anything else? No, that's it. Okay. Next problem is this. This would call on transition started. I think this is going to be pretty tough to look at without just looking at the old code. So let's go look at the instance. Yeah. No, wait, what? What happened to instance? Is it not called instance? Why did that not show up when I searched for it? Weird. I probably, whatever. I'm just not paying attention. All right, where is started? Started. There it is. On instance transition started. So that's where we would call remove all projectiles and whatever else. Remove all projectiles. Ah, here it is. Okay. So this now no longer needs to be an event. We could just call it battle system.filter. Okay. And then I guess same thing here. I'm just getting rid of errors. This is not how I want to eventually do things, but I want to take a look at the code in a slightly different way first. And then this is a private function that would be called from here. Okay. Are we done with all the errors? Yeah, I think that's it. Making this instance specific now. Yeah, and this is what I was kind of saying earlier. It makes sense that this would be instance specific. An instance is what has rooms, not the battle itself. You could almost look at each room as its own battle entirely. And that's where I think we're going to make things a lot easier. So instead of like reinitializing the battle, because right now we do like battle.init 3 times or something like that. I think it would make sense to maybe just make a new battle system. And maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I still need to think about that. But for now, I just wanted to move some things into instance. And this should function exactly like how it used to, except that the code is in different spots. So let's take a look. So if I hire an adventurer and start a battle, I should probably make them do more than 2 damage so that I don't have to keep waiting. Okay, well, this is going to take a while. No, Ubi. Thanks for resubbing. Not much free time. Always a pleasure to resub. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't been streaming a lot lately because I'd been on vacation, but I plan on getting back into the normal schedule. I'm also thinking about whether it's worthwhile to even take Tuesday off. Maybe I'll still take it off of streaming, but not off of development. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But that might add more time than I'm available, even if you don't have more time to watch. Regardless, I appreciate you being here. It's resubbing. Okay, so that all looked good. The character died, but I don't care about that. Yeah, that'll look good. So that was some of the tasks on this. The current stage, total stages. These have been moved to the instance. Yeah, okay. I think let's just check that in on its own. Yeah. Go to next stage, go to next stage deferred. Events. Stage. Emit the final event. It's not going to be a final event anymore, I guess. Yeah, I don't think this comment is actually needed. New position. I want to change that to. And I'm going to delete this comment because it no longer applies to that. Okay. That looks good. And this was just deleted code, right? Okay, so move some code. There was code in the battle system that makes more sense in instance. An instance is a set of multiple battles. Well, I'll just say since an instance is a set of multiple battles. Oh, is the lighting bad such that I relocated some of the lights in my room and I seem to have kind of a green tint. I wonder how I could fix that. Let's try changing this light. Wait a sec, door side. Okay, let's see if that's a little better. Hey, Chippy. Thought that was my true color coming out. My green blood. Hey, Broken Crown. Okay, next up, adventurers. Adventurers being tracked by the instance, I think. The enemies, so that each battle system can only track the ones for the current stage. Still show corpses and fade outs of the previous room. I gotta put some thought into this. Oh, I think I know what's going on. This does track battlers and their nodes. Yeah. I think each battle should track its own. So let me think about this. What if the instance tracked all enemies and then we only passed in the battlers that we care about? We just made a new battle system every time. I kind of want to do that. Instance should track adventurers and enemies, and the battle system should make a new battle system for each battle. Or reinitialize it? Like, what does it mean to make a new one? What is the only state that we even have? The dead battlers. Yeah, the old battle could have dead battlers. Yeah, I think making a new one each time would make sense. Problem is, we have. Well, what if you did have multiple battle systems? What would that do? Do we have a process in here or something? We do have a process. Go through each dead battler and clear it. Is that it? Is that literally it? What? What handles? Oh, the ability system handles abilities, obviously. Okay, yes. And that we could just delete after we're done, yeah. Okay. Enemies themselves so that each battle system can only track the ones with the current stage. Each battle could have its own set of systems, battle abilities, and effects. Yeah, but is there going to be a problem making a new system here? Let's take a look. What does the ability system track? It's got a battle system, so we would need a new one of these. We wouldn't need an is paused because the battle would just cease to exist, I guess. We wouldn't delete the system though, I guess. We would have, I guess it wouldn't be paused, it would just be done. Process abilities. Can update abilities. Okay. And then the effect system, what do we have there? I'm just researching how we're going to do this. Yeah, same thing. Okay. We could just freeze those systems. When a battle is done, we could freeze the systems. There was, I just searched for this earlier, that like process mode, I think. Process mode equals, yeah, there was disable processing, ignoring scene tree dot paused. And I think there's a set process mode or no. Because there was something that Monadic Bind linked in earlier, and I think, can I just scroll up? No, I can't. Thanks, Jump Royale. Thanks for nothing. Let me take a look and see if I can find this really fast. Monadic Bind. Yeah, here it was. Set process. If set to true, enables processing. Do we have this? Set process. Oh, yeah, we do. Okay. All right, and what does this say? Enables processing. When a node is being processed, it will receive a notification process on every drawn frame. And the process callback will be called if it exists. Enabled automatically if process is overridden. I wonder which is better to do. Set this to false or set the process mode. They're probably pretty much the same. Yeah, they're probably the same. Okay, well, I want to write that down. Set process or process mode to disabled. All right, well, the first time we create an instance, we start with a battle. So we make a battle system right away. And yeah, I think what I want to do is change this a little bit. We have battlers and projectiles. Battlers will stick around. And then we add to systems an ability system and an effect system. Actually, is there a reason to freeze the systems for those? I think we can just delete them. Yeah, I think we can delete them and recreate them. The ability system and effect system can just be deleted altogether. The battle system could be 2. Yeah, maybe it could be 2. Huh. I never thought about that. If we were to, what would happen here? We just wouldn't know what battlers existed, but they'd all be dead anyway. What would be tracking them, I guess? The instance? Yeah, the instance. Okay, yeah, I think we can just delete them. This will remove the active effects. I don't actually think it will remove them because the effects are tracked on each component for the entity. The system's just processing them. So I think we can delete them. Hey, SPX. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good way of doing this. Yeah. Each entity should have any components that are needed. Okay, with that said, the only reason we'd be doing this anyway, I guess, is because the battle system would need different battlers and dead battlers and whatever else. And that's what initializing could do. But we end up adding health components and all this other stuff. Okay. Yeah, I am getting there. Ability system and effect system. All right, let's go save those things off too. Private ability system, and then the effect system. Okay. Now get those. Then add them and initialize them. We want to make a new battle system, not just get the existing one. Where's the battle system? There it is. I think just delete this. So battle system equals new. Get node system. And let's just duplicate this. And call. Yeah, we don't need that, right? So this makes all the new systems that we need. Why is this a property? Does something else get this? Instances manager does, literally just for kill all battlers. That's questionable. Yeah, I think we're gonna change this. Also, what is this? What even uses this? Is this just a debug thing? Yeah, win all battles. Okay. Oh, well then let's go change that too at some point. Should be changed so that it doesn't need battle system to be exposed. Okay. All right, so we make a new battle system. We make a new every kind of system. This is good, but this should happen at the beginning of every stage. Do we call go to next stage at the very beginning of all of this? Battle ended. No, we don't. Okay. Well, let's go make a new thing here then. We'll say like set up systems. Are nullables not supported? No, they're supported. Why do you ask? Private void set up systems. All right. Okay, so far I think we're on the right track, but we still have everything getting initialized twice. Line 39, public battle system. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, so what this is saying is that this won't be null after the constructor, essentially. But that C# can't figure it out. And yeah, that has to do with Godot. Normally, you'd have a constructor like, yeah, public instance. And in here, you'd say something like battle system equals whatever. You'd set something. And then C# could tell, oh, this is not going to stay null because your constructor modifies it. However, this is a partial class because of how Godot works. So we can't, C# can't figure out that this will be set at some point. So we use the exclamation mark to tell it like, don't worry, we got this. Yeah. So every time we call go to next stage, we want to just delete the current systems altogether. And we don't want those to run. There's no super easy way to do this. Like, I guess let's do this for right now. Private. Actually, you know what? No, there is an easy way to do this. What am I talking about? We can say battle system dot set process false. And then the same thing with the other two systems. Ability system and effect system. Get rid of is paused. Is paused. Then this, we're in the next stage. We can just call setup systems again and make new ones. That's going to break a little bit. Yeah, it's going to break. All right, but I'll get to that in a sec. Now, where does is paused come from? Delete this. Delete this. And delete this. Okay. How do I tell it I don't know what I'm doing? You just get an AI. And then whenever you wait for long enough, the AI will swoop in and save you. And that's coding in 2024. All right. Now the initialization is going to be broken. Because we do something where we reinitialize with the same adventurers. Where does this get called? Instance manager passes in the first time. Do we ever call this another time? We don't. So where does this happen? Ah, battle system.init. Here it is. But this is with the new... No, it's not with the new one. All right, is that better? Instance init. Init needs to be called after ready then. Hey, Capillara, welcome back. And thank you, yeah. Spain was a good trip. Thanks for the resub. Hope everything's going well with you. We met a couple of people from the Netherlands while we were there. Is this intentionally a giant emote? Isn't this something that costs money to do? I feel like it should say that it did. I don't know. It does? Okay. It doesn't. Is that what the sound was? And hey, slash D8. The holiday was good. I've got a tiny, tiny little blurb about it here. Click the channel points thing. I know there's Gigantify and emote, but there's no way to tell how much that was after it was sent. Like if I were to go change the price to like $100, can I send Gigantified emotes on my own? So stupid. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of jealous of everyone who already lived in Europe because their flight times were like 3 hours, 1 hour. It wasn't bad at all. Did I get the money for that? Well, I just want to know to be able to thank people in the future. So yeah, thank you, Capillara. If that's costing you bits right now, which I assume it is. It's weird that it doesn't say that it does that though. Anyway, for those of you who are like, I sound a little bit different, I am still getting over a sickness right now. And I think I'm at least good enough to get back to work normally. So I'm going to try to resume my normal life. And yeah, hopefully energy comes back to full. Oh, wait. It costs no money for subscribers? I don't understand how this works. I only just briefly read about these and found out you can't even turn it off. So I just set some values and called it a day. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily expecting an afternoon stream either. I was laying down in bed for a while and I was like, you know what? I'm feeling it. I feel pretty motivated from this morning. Oh, it shows in the activity feed. I wish they were cheaper. Usually they're around 30 bits. I don't mind making them slightly cheaper. I don't, yeah. Make the huge emotes slightly cheaper. Yeah, well, thank you for the bits, Capillara. I want to see this in the activity thing. Yeah. Ah, it shows up here. Yeah, Gigantify emote. Got it, got it, got it. Hey, Roots. Yeah, so is this called after ready or before ready? And does it really matter? Add child, so after ready. So the systems have already been set up. Okay, let's try this out. I'm forgetting something, I'm sure of it. But yeah, we'll see if it works. Fire adventurers start battle. I mean, they're doing damage. Everything's working fine there. I really need to speed up these battles, though. I guess I can just speed up the whole game. Okay, so that's broken now. The adventurers are not added back. Yeah. I like to use them since nobody understands them yet. I like the idea of huge emotes. Yeah, I might actually modify the ability. In fact, let's go take a look. All adventurer data. Where's the rogue? Here it is. Rogue. So what is this? Starting power is the first one. Power per level, fortitude per level, life per level. So power. So power per level we'll just set to 120. So they should kill stuff 10 times as quickly now. Yeah. But they don't get added back in. And they don't get added back in because I'm never initializing them again. So this used to happen. Where did this happen? Initialize battle system took in the adventurers. Then where is battle system.init? Adventurers can cat enemies. Toggle battler visibility. I think I don't want this to happen anymore, but I need to actually make them walk to the next location. Get rid of this and instead have adventurers walk to the next battle. Yeah, why are rogues broken in the new release? They're roughly 10 times more powerful than they should be. And yeah, Darkstorm made a lot of PRs. I think it was really good. It was good that I felt like I was making progress just by merging them. Yeah, no, it definitely helps though. Okay, so this is not necessarily a problem, but I think I do want to turn this off. So let's turn that off for now. And then we have create enemy battlers and initialize them. But there is also a init battle system here. Create player battlers, create enemy battlers, and then concat them and call init. I don't know if this is just a visibility problem. Let's see. Something's wrong there. How many systems do we have? Instance systems. Ooh, we have 6. Because I never delete the old ones. I should. Isn't it paused? I got rid of the concept of it being paused. I guess I need to wipe out the current systems that might be there. This is going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. Is there a ready in here? No. I just want to set the name of this thing. Name equals, whoops, name equals battle system. There are a few things that are going to be wrong with this. What is new calling? This is a way of making things in C#. So if you have some type foo and you want to construct it, these two things are identical. So it's just a way of being slightly less verbose with your types if you do this way. So if you're ever just looking at a random line of code and you see this, the way it knows how to call a constructor is because of the static typing. It still knows that it's a capital F foo and can know how to construct itself. Yeah, specifying it in the variable declaration. Yep. Okay, so ideally we're deleting everything under systems. Crows, welcome back. Thank you for the resub. I feel like, and I don't care about this, but my subscriber count has like super plummeted. taking taking a vacation and also just not really pushing for subscribers. That's done that. Vacation was good. It was really good. I got sick at the very end of it. That part wasn't so fun. But the vacation was nice. I feel like I'm just ready to get stuff done again. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about things. Well, Kevlar, sorry, that wasn't me trying to fish for subs, although I really, really appreciate it. Very nice of you to gift 10 subs. If I'm counting correctly now, that's 11 subs and 200 bits. And you certainly don't have to do that. But thank you. I appreciate it. Whoa. What are you doing? Okay, well, if the sub count was low, it's definitely higher now after 60 gifted subs. So thank you, Crows. Thank you, Capillara. It's very nice of both of you. And welcome all these people. It was really honestly just an idle comment. I am not trying to get people to spend money in this channel. I think if you want to do anything, play Skeleseller when it comes out. Tell your friends about it. Of course, that'll cost money, I guess. So yeah. Yeah, and it's good to be back. It really is. I think once I'm at full energy, it's gonna feel kind of normal again. But I'm excited to set up my old routine. I still haven't gotten back into working out. My in-laws just showed up yesterday, and like the very first thing that my mother-in-law said is like, "Wow, you've lost weight." I'm like, I have been sick. I have been walking 200 miles. So what I'd like to do here is delete all of the systems that existed. And is there like a get children? Yeah, there's a get children. Okay, so we can just do for node in this node dot free. We actually want to free it immediately. Oh, whoops, for each. Yeah. Hey, Skitter Cat. How do you like the food in Spain? So there were two parts of the trip. There was the wedding, and that was in Barcelona. And then there was the Camino, which was like a ton of small towns. The food in a lot of these small towns was, I would say, somewhat basic. It's not like it was bad, but it was just pretty basic. So all in all, I wouldn't say the food was like the most fantastic thing I've had for any part of the Spain trip, but I'm not really a picky eater. Oh, Skitter Cat. By the way, Skitter Cat, at some point, I will call upon thee for Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, walk the Camino. Yeah, found myself. I already had found myself. I didn't go for like any sort of self-discovery. I went mainly because my wife wanted to go, and she was pretty excited about it. So I was just kind of giving her company. And on the Camino, I think it's kind of interesting to talk to other people. And I think many people went there to find something and probably didn't exactly, but I think it'll take them some processing afterward. How goes the Godot grind? It's going well. I'm very slow because of the sickness and now because of me talking about a bunch of stuff, but it is going well. The thing I'm trying to work on right now is trying to get it so that adventurers can move in between phases of a battle and still use their abilities and everything. And something is broken, and I'm not totally sure what. Oh, whoops. I meant to just check. I should have deleted all the systems instead of new ones. Let's take a look. Instance, systems. Yeah, they're only the 3 systems. So that part is good. Why isn't it working then? It's the battle system. Init is called. Process must be called. Battle system dot battlers. Maybe it doesn't have any battlers. Indeed. Okay, then let's just go debug this. lot of lone travelers go there to find some kind of meaning or process trauma. Yeah, we met a lot of people who were in these transitional periods. Not too many people who went because they were seemingly processing trauma, but a lot of people who were between jobs, between relationships. And I think for a lot of those people, they were not necessarily looking forward to getting back to the real world. Whereas I was like, I can't wait to work on my game again. I didn't say this to them. But yeah, I saw it as like a nice break, I guess. I guess you would have stayed in hotels. We stayed in private rooms in the like same general hostels usually. I felt kind of hoity-toity for that. Yeah, I just asked random people, "Hey, have you heard of Skeleseller? You want to sell any skeletons?" All right, so if I set a breakpoint on the ability system right here, it should break in immediately. Yeah, it did. And now I'm guessing this is just null or empty. How do I find out what's in here? It is one node? Oh, this is probably... No, wait. Yeah, this is probably the enemy, and it probably doesn't know about the adventurers. How do I find out if it's the enemy? I can get their team. ECS. Oh, maybe I can't get their team. Get components. I don't even know how I do this. Well, can I find out something by... Oh, wait a sec. What? Yeah, here we go. Is there a way to... Oh, I think I know what I could do. I could do this. Can't apply index. I could do that. Has no method for get. Are you kidding me? Maybe do list. Ah, there we go. And then 0. And then get child components. Cannot convert from string to int. Get child node. Node does not contain a definition. What was this thing called? Get node maybe? Get node. Whoops, get node. Ah, got you. Okay, now what's in here? Components. You are going to tell me what team you're on. The enemy team. I knew it. It's the bat. Okay, so that's the problem. That the battle only contains the enemy and doesn't contain the players. Yeah. Why did I switch from GDScript to C#? GDScript was always intended to be temporary, and the only reason I was using it is because I wanted the original prototype to be playable on the web. And right now, it just so happens that C# just doesn't export to the web right now. So I knew that in order to let people play it as quickly as possible, I needed to code it in GDScript. But yeah, like I said, that was never the plan to keep it. And there's a little bit more in the FAQ for the Skeleseller about why I didn't like GDScript as much. All right, so why don't you exist? There should be, yeah, this right here. Oh, maybe this doesn't actually contain any... Ah, yep, that's the problem. Okay, well, how do we do this then? Filter battlers by team. So I enumerable. All right, that might fix everything, although I'm still torn on this general way of doing things. All right, so it should open up. Good. And then we should be able to go between different phases of the battle. There's phase 1. Yep, phase 2 looks like it's working. It would be nice to... Ooh, this is now broken. I'm just stuck in a battle. Oh, because we don't have any event handlers for the new systems. Yeah, where do we do that? Initialize events. Here it is. This is technically part of setting up the systems, I guess. To the point where we just delete this from here. But actually, I would probably delete this function and just put it in the system setup thing. There. First message got filtered. Yeah, it was the racism filter. Um, so yeah, I just allowed it through it. Oh, thanks for resubbing. 12 months, yeah, 1 year, Skittercat. Thank you. Thanks for your Bezos bucks. Do the skeletons sleep in the town cellars? I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh. Okay, got it. I was thinking of something more like, are skeletons and cellars somehow associated and not just the name of the game? You know what? You'd better be sorry. Also, I haven't looked at your Discord message yet. I really just went and got lunch and then like laid down in bed. Okay, this looks like it's working just fine. And as we just did earlier today, the adventurers can now go pick up items themselves and then drop them off. So that is new. I've been doing some major upgrade of a project that has been built 4 years ago and now have around 500 files changed. I would suspect this becomes unmanageable to review. This change is needed to upgrade all packages. Cannot seem to think that it might be preventable. How would you handle such a big merge? Upgrading versions of things, you can't usually split too much. So once you have the need for it, it's just, yeah, upgrade a version and change whatever needs to be changed. In the future, I guess if you wanted to minimize the impact of that, you could potentially make things more modular and make it so that there are separate packages and each one of those can depend on a different version. But you'd still run into the same change if, let's say, there was some critical security flaw and you need to upgrade every single module. It would just maybe turn into like 13 connected reviews instead of one. Wait a second, what? What is... Okay, I don't know. Oh, need to drop. Oh, got you. Okay, take care, Skittercat. Thanks for the sub. I'm a little slow today. All right, well, it looks like this was working. I'm still a little torn on this. Oh, also, the other thing that I'm a little torn on, do we have 3 mental swiftness buffs? How would I test this? Would I test this? I think we're initializing the battlers multiple times, though. Yeah. If it doesn't have an effects component, add an effects component. And then the abilities component we have initialized for battle. What does this do? Initialize with the battle system itself? Okay. Yeah, I see. We'll need to change this. PewDiePie threw me off. Yeah, I thankfully didn't need to upgrade from 3 to 4. I just started on 4. So I didn't have any major problems there. Okay, this is still an issue. And how exactly does this work? What does initialize do? Rage, what do we have? Passive ability granting buff, gives you the buff. As someone who's learning C# and .NET coming from Java, what's the most important thing to learn and be aware of? A long time ago, I would have answered this with like, there was a web page listing the differences between C# and Java, but that was so long ago that there were only some kind of minor differences. I'd say one thing is C#'s use of delegates. I'd say that's a core language feature that Java just doesn't have built in. But beyond that, I would just say to have proper tooling. So any sort of static analyzers, linters, and then have those tell you good practices that you might not know about. So for example, let's say I were to code something like this. Let's say I say node n equals new node. So this is totally valid, but you see it underlines it and it says new expression can be simplified. And I just say use new and it deletes the node part. And now I'm doing what is recommended in C# and less verbose and still pretty easy to read. And I only know about this because of the static analyzer. There are lots of little things like that that you might not know about. So for example, the old way of initializing collections, I think you do something like this: string, names equals new string. I don't know. There's some, I forgot the syntax even, but it's something like this. And you'd say like Adam, Bob. Maybe that is the syntax. Yeah. Anyway, that's one way of doing things. But the new, simpler way of doing things is, I'm putting this on the wrong thing here, is just pretty much array syntax. So it cuts out a whole bunch of verbosity and just the need to know any of this stuff. And now it's made much simpler. So I think just having tooling like that can really help, because that way you don't need to keep looking things up. And then on top of that, it probably is a good idea for you to at least just look at some basic posts somewhere of like, what are the big differences between C# and Java? But yeah, in general, I think you'll find out as you code. Maybe even try out some AI for it. All right, well, I don't have any great solutions to this yet, and we've got to still fix it, but I think I need to take a break. So I'll just write where I left off, trying to figure out how we'll stop initializing adventurers multiple times. I think the initialization that we do is really just a beginning of battle thing that only needs to happen once. Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to take a break. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, again, for people who haven't seen this, just type join. The instructions are on the screen. I'll be back in a few minutes. Have fun playing. See you soon. Hey everyone, close the game. Good job, Nuka. Your first third place win. All right, so let's go take a look at this, which is do we need, wait, what is this? Now that all battlers are initialized, we can initialize the abilities. We do this in a separate loop in case any passives need to access other battlers. Oh. This should only be done in the very first battle, though. Right? We initialize abilities. But, yeah, the only ability... Actually, what should be done here? Yeah, this should only be done once. Yeah, okay, so imagine you have this ability. There's this rage ability, and it starts off with a damage bonus of 0, and then every attack, that bonus rises. So in stage 1 of the battle, if you get to a bonus of like 10, should that persist for stage 2? And I think the answer is yes. I don't think many people would probably argue with that. Like, it's all the same general battle. Is there a reason we'd ever want to reset these sorts of bonuses? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, so then if we don't want to, then this is just initialize, like, beginning of battle stuff is what we have here. So I'm going to write this here. Called at the beginning of the instance, not for each individual battle. Now initialize for battle. This is more like initialize for instance, I think. In fact, let's rename that. Initialize for instance. But it takes in a battle system, not an instance. Yeah, I think that's still fine. All right, there's one more thing I needed to change. And that's that this shouldn't be called here. So public void init initialize for instance. And that's where this is done. Okay. And then we just call this once. And we call it from our init over here. Initialize battle system. Okay, I think that'll work. How do we test this? I guess just every time a battle is created, we can print out all of the effects that somebody has. Is that necessary? Where do effects go? I think they're just stored in memory. I'm trying to think of how I even did this myself. Because I just did this like yesterday. Oh man, I don't remember. I think I did it in the effect system though. So the effect system could just print out all the effects that an entity has. How about that? You know what? Better than that. Let's just break in the third battle and see what happens. Oh, but we need this to be on the mage. Okay, how do I give us a mage first? I don't actually know. Oh, here it is. That's easy. Okay, so mage. Done. And now we try that out. We'll get a mage first, and the mage has an ability called Mental Swiftness, which grants a buff at the very beginning of battle, and we don't want that buff to be granted 3 times, just once. So if I start the first battle, and then we go to the effect system, So we got to wait for the first battle to finish. Almost done. There we go. And now we put a breakpoint here. And now we try to see, is this the player, first of all? This is entity.getNodeComponents. Are you the player? Team player. Yes, good. Okay, what are your effects? Effect is not null here. Yeah, I want to see what they are. You should just have one that says, well, it's a buff. Mental swiftness buff. Yeah, nice. Okay, I think it's fixed. How do you get your breakpoints to work like that in VS Code? Work like what? Because I don't think I did anything too special here. I just clicked in the gutter and set a breakpoint. But I'm happy to answer your question. I just didn't do anything special. Is there a way we could guarantee that something happens? We could add like, this isn't worth it. Mine don't work. I must have done something weird to break them. It's possible you're running in a different way. Like if you look through your launch tasks, some of them have an inability to debug, I think. But like, are you using C#? Are you launching from VS Code? Because you have to launch from here. I just do .NET run in the console. I run from this tasks thing over here. And that works. Hey, Kuyati Kid. Thanks for resubbing. And yeah, long time no see. I'd been on vacation. I'm finally back. Remember the directory casing issue? Yep. Yeah, there are a lot of reasons why I guess it could stop working. Hey, Bob. Love your content. How do you connect your backend to Godot? I don't know much about it, Godot. When you say backend, what do you mean? Like a game backend? Or are you talking about what I'm doing here? Because as far as connecting a game backend, like let's say you have a server for high scores or something like that, this would just be, you know, typical like C# calls. You know, make a request to the server, wait for the response. If you're talking about something else, though, I'd have to know what you're talking about. Just use Visual Studio. Yeah, I mean, it should work. There is some setup you need for VS Code and C# debugging. But yeah, I just run through here. Oh, cool, Kuyati. Yeah. Yeah, I was in Spain. What are you doing here? Is writing in Godot then? So what I'm writing here is what I would call the front end for the game, like the game itself. And this is VS Code. And yeah, this is me writing C#, which then gets fed into Godot, or rather uses the Godot bindings that they have. I'm not sure if this is answering your question because I'm not totally sure what your question is. Is this my first stream back? Where did I miss that? No, this isn't. It was Monday. But Ninja, on Monday, I was in pretty bad shape. I'm still not totally better yet, but I'm at least well enough to stream, I think. Also, it's using the console. The GUI button works. Oh, cool. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, Visual Studio is going to get sunset in August, I want to say, on Mac. Oh yeah, I'm mostly good. When did I fly from Spain? I think it was like Wednesday of last week is when I got sick. And I feel like I'm maybe like 85% better now. I still feel this tiny little haze and a little bit of a cough. But other than that, I'm like way better than I was. So I think in another couple days I should be hopefully completely better. So I was checking Godot and was curious, where do you have the scenes that are? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I still use Godot to modify scenes. So if I need to do something very visual, I'll still use Godot for that. But then I do tend to prefer writing things in code. So something we just wrote this morning was this code. This is code that sets up animation frames for the different characters because their walk animations are all very similar. So in Godot, you would have to open up Godot and then open up your scene that you have, and then actually put in all of these different sprites, left, right, up, And then if you have another character, well, copy paste everything and then go set up down, left, right, up, and so on and so forth. And you have like 30 characters. It's just super frustrating. So yeah, I prefer to write things in code and then just have the editor read them in. All right, I know I'm all over the place, but we tested this and it worked. I'm still not like super satisfied with all of this stuff, I guess. Free systems, each entity should have components. Yeah, this stuff is all working. Okay. Oh yeah, good. Yeah. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer this stuff. All right, instances should track the adventurers themselves. Do they? I don't even know if they do. But I guess we're gonna need something like that. We have battler to adventurer. We could just look through there. Is the... Oh, wait a sec. Is this gonna cause any problems? I'm actually not sure about this. Battler. We're gonna initialize them the same way, right? This is... Yeah, adventurers equals... Where is this? Here. These are just nodes. Filter battlers by team. We get the battlers so that we can call this. And then init them again. And just set them here. Okay. Yeah, I guess technically this is all working. What if I got rid of the fade out time? There's like a 2000 somewhere. What if I cut that down? Yeah, what if we just set this to 20? What happens? Oh wait, hide all enemies only at the end of the current stage. This is a temporary addition because we're currently fading the enemies out and there's no awaiting time before the transition starts. Okay, I want to delete this code. I want to see what this looks like. It should be enemies just sliding across the screen. But I think I'm going to change that to... All right, so hire an adventure. Oh, darn it. Ugh. I don't want it to be a mage again. I want it to be the rogue. That way it kills stuff in 4 hits. We could just make the mage more powerful too, I guess. But there we go. Okay, so the enemy... Okay. Interesting, and then a couple of things. Oh, I see what's happening. All right, yeah, we got to fix this next. Pause the ability to affect system. Being hit multiple times after we don't hit this bug. Storing spawn locations. Yeah, this is what we need to do, and we need to start panning the camera instead of the tile map. And then stop removing projectiles as well. We're going to stop removing projectiles, and we need the mage again. Nothing's ever easy. All right, let's go figure out where that went. Mage here. All right, let's give you the mage. And then let's make it so the fireball gets cast super fast. So instead of a cooldown of 3 seconds, let's set it to half a second. Okay, so fireballs should just get flung at the enemy like crazy. Good. Yeah, and then let's stop deleting the projectiles. This gets called from here. I'm going to need to untangle these commits that I'm doing. Yeah, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. 2 damage. I'm doing 2 damage. We actually have to get the lightning bolt graphics in because I think mages have a lightning bolt and they're just it's just not obvious what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, lightning zaps. Okay, so this we can set back to 2000. We need to pan the camera. And we also need to find out where, what, tile size? Get position of battler. This new position. So we're tweening the tile map. We need to tween the camera. Hey, Kahitar. How you doing? Where is the camera? Huh. I don't know where this is. Camera is the parent? Oh, here we go. There might not be a reason to do things this way. Show the lights? What do you mean? I'm doing well, Kahitar. I took a picture of my office recently because I just rearranged everything and cleaned it up. I don't know if that's what you meant by show the lights. Ignore the wires. Oh, keyboard lights. Oh. Yeah, but they only work on the left half. Yeah. But I do like the effect. How to ignore the wires. You ignore them by commenting constantly on them. Okay, so what happens in this view? Where do the instances go? How long will it take you to switch to a keyboard like that? Probably about a month. I mean, it depends on what exactly you're doing. If you're just trying to type on a keyboard like this in English, like you're writing emails or something, then maybe like a week or two. But if you're trying to code again, yeah, probably a month or two. How safe is it to use cracked software? Software I'm referring to is mainly editing software. In general, very unsafe because it's an executable you're running and they might have done anything to it. And typically with cracked software, you're just placing your trust in a total stranger, right? It's not some company that has a reputation on the line, just a random person on the internet. So yeah, if you are questioning any of that, then you should probably launch it in a much more secure environment. Maybe you run it in a VM that you have locked down, maybe just a separate laptop or something altogether that's not even on your network. Or maybe you buy the software that you're talking about. Yeah, coding. Yeah. It'll probably take a while. I don't even remember what I was doing here. Oh yeah, I remember now. I was gonna look at the scene tree. Okay, so what I've learned is that the morning was fine, but the afternoon I am just not really paying attention to stuff, I guess. All right, instances, slot 0. We have the instance alongside the camera. I see. And the camera sticking around. Okay. Well, we could get the camera. We could just pass it in when we create the instance, right? What has the... There's an instance manager. Where is this? Slot slash viewport. We could just get the camera 2D inside there. I'm gonna try that. Camera 2D. Slot slash viewport slash camera 2D. Yeah. All right, let's take in, actually, you know what? Let's say this is camera 2D. Okay, then change this to take in a camera 2D camera. I'm just trying this out for now. I don't know if I want to stick with this. There we go. So now when we do this bit about shifting the instance, we can really make it shift the camera. Yeah, this. Okay. Yeah, Brody, just I'd say be careful about that sort of thing. Also, look, a lot of people who want free software, a lot of times they're students, and students usually get cheap or free software from a lot of companies anyway to try to get you hooked before you're a professional and then you can spend money on it. So if you are a student, I would suggest looking into that route for whatever software you're trying to find. And the other nice thing is that there's lots of open source software for various things that you might want. So let's say you want a video editor or photo editor or whatever, any number of things. There's usually just completely free software out there. Thought the keyboard might be a fix. The keyboard could be a fix for something like this. There are other things I'd recommend too. I mean, there's a lot when it comes to ergonomics. But for one, just kind of exercise and stretching is something that's hardware independent that might help you quite a lot. And same thing, posture too. Then yes, there's the actual hardware that you use. And a split keyboard might help, maybe just, I don't know, could be any number of things. Oh, thanks, Toulouse. I didn't even see the message. Oh, I think I did see it. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Yeah, not being able to test it beforehand is pretty frustrating. Unless you know someone with one of those keyboards, it is pretty hard to just find one. And they're not really all that cheap. If it was like $10 and no, well, I don't like the keyboard, that's not so bad. But yeah, sometimes these are like 100 or 200. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna move the camera. Camera.create tween. I guess just copy paste all of this. And then tween the camera's position to be new position. So delete this part. This is probably going to go in the wrong direction. Maybe. I don't know. So let's see. Which direction does this go? When we win the fight, it's going to scroll somewhere. Yeah, wrong direction. All right, so now this is just positive. And that's that, right? And now enemies are going to be in the wrong position because they're going to be spawning at this spot, but on the left of the screen now. Yeah. So presumably the battle's still happening, but over here, yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So we just got to fix that next. Yeah, for what it's worth, Kahitar, you might end up liking this keyboard, but it might not end up fixing the pain you're having. At which point you've done kind of a lateral move. But yeah, it's entirely possible you don't like it. I will say this, I shared my whole keyboard journey online, that video on my personal YouTube, and it was the Microsoft keyboard over to the GMMK to the Moonlander to the Korn. And I just never really liked the Moonlander. And I thought I would. It's a nicely made keyboard. I have no problem with it. I would recommend it to other people. I just didn't personally like it. And yeah, unfortunately it was very, very expensive and I managed to sell it to a viewer. Did you just cast 5 fireballs at the start? Yeah, I think so at least. I set the time to really, really low, and mental swiftness can cast on every single one of those times because the cooldown's only set to 0.1. But this was just so that I could see how projectiles look. Just hate the German keyboard layout for coding. Well, if you do switch to a keyboard layout like this, you're probably going to tweak things quite a lot before you settle on what you like. Why didn't I like it? I feel like it's just too big. I don't know. And the something about the thumb keys just didn't feel totally right. And the key travel seemed to be kind of high. It just felt sort of like a chore to type on. But that's very personal. Like, I don't think the keyboard itself is flawed. I just didn't like it too much. Okay, so the final thing we need to do here, I think, is to spawn battlers in the right spots. So technically, we could just change this number, right? I wonder if we can. I'm going to try this, and if it works, then great. And if not, then I guess we'll have to see. So starting position.x. And we want to modify by 24 tiles. stage offset equals this. Tile size in pixels. All right. I don't know if that's going to work, but if it does work, then cool. Let's see. Oh, no. I'm already off by 1. Oh, because the stage starts at 1. This should be this times current stage minus 1. Let me try this out. Okay, looks good so far. Nope, where's the... Oh, the player's still there. Well, they are shooting their fireballs. This looks very funny. Yeah. They're eventually going to make it way across there. Something else was wrong about that too, though. It looked like it was hitting... the fireball was making contact too soon. Yeah. Hey, Miyazaki. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't totally planning on streaming in the afternoon, but I think it's going well enough. 2 big upgrades of the Glove 80 are low profile and concave keywell. Yeah. Yeah, I never used the Glove 80, but it looks cool. Yeah. Are you not worried someone will steal your code? So, not really. There are a couple of considerations. One is that your code is copyrighted as soon as you type it. So, if I somehow had proof that somebody took this, it'd be a very, very straightforward lawsuit. But then the more concerning thing would be that someone takes my code in a country where it's very hard to enforce copyright, and they could just kind of take the game idea anyway and do that. And you see this happen, by the way. Like you see a lot of knockoff apps on an app store or something, and your only real recourse is to go through the app store and hope that they take it down. But sometimes they don't take it down, or sometimes that takes a long time, or you've already missed your window of opportunity. It's sort of like what happens on YouTube, right? Nothing stops somebody from downloading one of my videos and putting it on their channel, but I can eventually catch it. What if catching it, though, takes long enough where they already got all the money they were going to get from it? And, anyway, it's that sort of problem. So in the end, am I really worried about it? No. I think the bigger thing, though, here is in order for someone to even want to take this, they have to think that it's a good enough idea and then I guess beat me to market with my own code somehow and hope that I don't find them. Like the odds of that happening are just so slim. Like I'm probably not making a game that's going to sell for, $5 million or something like that. I think it'll make some money, but yeah, there'd be quite a lot of work just to copy all of this. Yeah, solution, just make bad games. All right, so for whatever reason, this is only offsetting the enemy. Why is it not offsetting the player? Oh, because they don't get repositioned. Ah, I see. We would need to reposition the players as well. You want to ask for help, but you're afraid that code... I mean, that could be a problem, right? If you want to ask for help, you need to give them all of your code and it's already on Steam. And yeah, maybe they take it and maybe you don't feel like fighting the legal battle you'd have to fight. I think the bigger problem is just kind of like finding someone good to work with. Yeah. It exists for free on GitHub, so lots of work for a little payout for the scammers. I don't exactly follow this. I think there have been a lot of open source projects that have become monetized only because the license was so permissive. And now companies have started sort of clamping down on this. Like think of how many cloud software, how many things exist in cloud offerings that are literally just open source software, but now managed on the cloud and then made Amazon or Google like tons and tons of money. But maybe I'm misinterpreting this. But yeah, I think making it source available would allow lots of other people to very quickly spin up their own version. Hey, Unknown. Could you elaborate further about people getting away with stealing your game? Yeah, so let's say someone named Unknown VS14, for example, were to come across and be like, hey, I want to get your game. I would suggest that they DM me and ask really nicely for the source code. I'd probably send it. Then from there, they would make it their own version of the game, maybe like Skella Buyer or something like that. And then I think question mark, and profit. It's pretty foolproof. How's it going, unknown? All right, so we would need to reposition the battlers, which I don't exactly. I'm torn on all of this. I'm not convinced that this is the best way for me to do things. But if I were to do it this way, then when we make the instance, where do we get the adventurers? I can't find anything anymore. Yeah, here. Then we would need to reposition these after this. So we init here. Yeah, I'm gonna copy paste some code here, and we're just gonna kind of see where this takes us. This. Okay. Oh man, we need I here. Okay, fine. For each. In I equals 0. And then an I plus plus at the end of this. And then we just get rid of all of this. This is an adventurer, though. Oh, these are battlers. Okay. Node does not contain a definition for that. Wait a second. Something's wrong here. Yeah, something's wrong. Why are these nodes? What are these? They are nodes. What are battlers? They're nodes. Oh, come on. I guess they're technically node 2Ds, but create player battlers. Yeah, I need them to be node 2Ds. Okay, well, let's just cast them for right now. There. Let's try that. Let's just see what happens. I'm still just busy shooting myself in the foot. All right, let's take a look. So what we're testing is, does the player get put in the right position in the new instance? Yeah. Yeah, it looks like this is working fine. Oh, that's why damage is being dealt. Because there's another skill, but it doesn't have a graphic for it. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I think things are looking good enough. Not open source, source available under BSL. Yeah. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I think people could still take this and it'd be hard for you to know that they've taken it unless you happen to find it. As an example, this happened to me. I was selling Botland t-shirts on Amazon at cost. So I was not trying to make any money off of them. It was just, hey, do you want a Botland t-shirt? You can buy a Botland t-shirt. And one day, someone, maybe myself, I don't remember who, someone searched for it and found a store where the prices were like $5 higher, selling literally the exact same t-shirts. And it turns out that, yeah, there are just people or bots out there who find these t-shirts that are listed at a low enough price, then just relist them, probably buy them from my store and then sell them on their store, make $5 for doing literally nothing. And I only happened to stumble across it, and I reached out to Amazon and they sorted it all out. But yeah, I might not have noticed, and maybe they made $50 in that time or something. I don't know. By the way, the thing that I'm talking about here with exercise and stretching, so there's someone who's been in the community for a while here, and they've said that they've had arm and shoulder pain and pretty severe pain, and they tried like everything, different desk, different posture, et cetera, and then finally started doing exercises, and they said that practically cleared up everything. So that's what I think is probably your best bet if you're having pain, but I'm not an expert. Yeah. We're going to do a game called Skeletrators. Sounds like a plan. Hey, Daigo. in serious pain a while back, maybe a year and a half, bought braces, which didn't help. Eventually started exercising, improved so much is barely there. Yeah. Still just uncomfortable over time. Yeah, I think you can always find yourself in a posture where it doesn't matter how much you exercise, the posture is just harmful to you. So, I mean, do the basic ergonomic stuff. Like, are your shoulders and elbows at a good position? Are you, are you leaning back on a couch most of the time and using a laptop that's, farther from you than it needs to be, those sorts of things. Did they buy all your shirts? Actually, they probably never made a sale now that I think about it, but it'd be hard for me to know. Because I was going to say, I think the only people who probably found the Botland shirts are the ones who got direct links to it. Uh-oh. Oh, it's just the camera being in the wrong spot. Okay, well then we need to fix that bug too. Make sure that the camera starts at the right spot. I think that spot is probably just 0, 0. Can we do that? Init camera dot position equals vector 2.0. I doubt this is correct. There's probably, what position does this have to begin with? Offset is 0, 0, position is 0, 0. Okay, maybe it works. I mean, we can try it. I'll speed up the game a little bit. Oh, the 2 seconds doesn't get sped up. Because it's hard coded. All right, now I start a new battle. Nice. Okay. 0, 0 does seem to work. All right. Well, yeah. Check the camera pivot in the scene. For what? Nah, totally fine unknown. Water under the bridge. Contains some default assets I'm cobbling together to showcase the different features. I see, Miyazaki. Yeah. You just confirmed it's top left. Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like things are working pretty well here. I don't want to check this in just yet. I have a lot of cleanup to do, and also I sort of feel myself slowing down, almost to the point where it's probably worth just kind of chilling out now. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't fill out the journal. Skeleseller. Okay, so definitely feeling better than Monday, but I felt more sluggish in the afternoon. Made good progress regardless. Turned adventurers into workers and fixed some of the battle/instance issues. Yeah, all right. So here's the new plan. It's hang out for a bit, chat with you all, and then come back on Friday and continue working on this. I don't think today went poorly overall, but I definitely think that the morning was better than the afternoon as far as productivity. Seen lazy Git? I don't think so. Simple terminal UI for Git commands? I don't follow why you would want this over VS Code, because this looks like all the stuff that VS Code shows you. Not all of it, I guess. This is more Git focused, but yeah. I think if you're used to doing everything in the terminal, maybe this is good. And clearly it's got a ton of downloads. Oh, Lazy Vim. I haven't seen Lazy Vim, no. What is that? NeoVim config for the lazy. Yeah, no, I haven't heard about this. How was your vacation? You find it rejuvenating? I took a week-long vacation in May and I hadn't realized how tired I was. Although I realized I do like working. These are really good things. I think space away from anything is worth it. You figure out so much about your own perspective about things. With that said, my vacation was good. I didn't take it because I was burned out or anything. We were going to a wedding, and then we were doing the Camino de Santiago, and we didn't get to pick the time of the wedding, of course. So after that, we had, I think, 2 weeks post wedding. So it ended up being about 3 weeks. And then I got back, and the sickness kind of just brought me to waiting until Monday, and jet lag. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah. So it wasn't caused by burnout. That's not why I took the vacation. And I already felt like I had a ton of momentum right before the vacation. We had just launched checkpoint number 1 of Skeleseller, and I was like, oh man, I'm so excited about checkpoint number 2. I want to work on it. And now I'm able to work on it. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be kind of sort of in the swing of things. Still got to get over the last hump of sickness here. But yeah, I think, let me show you this design doc. Go to the bottom of this. Yeah, so I have all the checkpoints listed out here. So checkpoint number 1 happened on May 17th. And then, yeah, since I took vacation, I wanted the next one to maybe be July 19th. I want there to be some changes. I think this is the important part, address feedback from the last checkpoint. And then I feel like as we keep going through this, even if there's positive feedback every time, there's still going to be a lot of work in between these phases. And it might be that I get into burnout territory at some point. For right now, I've been very careful to just be resting quite a lot because of the sickness. But once that's done, I think it is going to be a little bit of a risk for me to just dump a bunch of time into this. The other thing I'm going to have to do, and I keep commenting on this, but I've got to get back to music creation at some point. I have one track figured out for the game. And when I say figured out, it's pretty much all in my head right now. I need to put it into a program and like figure out the instrumentation. So yeah, I'm really excited for the second checkpoint. I'll probably do some of the music creation on stream too. I just haven't really gotten in the swing of things yet. Any plans for a full soundtrack? I'm not totally sure how many tracks I should make for this. I think we need a minimum of probably like 3 tracks. And like I said, I have one figured out. But like, I don't think we need battle music. I don't know if we need any other kind of like a maybe title screen music. I'm not sure. So yeah, a lot of this we just gotta try something. And then there's got to be a lot of time spent just noodling around with compositions. Will music streams ever make a comeback? The composition ones probably will, especially for Skeleseller. The just sort of performance ones in practice, I don't know about those. I've been working lately, I've been really noodling around with is a better thing to say on Chopin Sonata number 3. And really just the last movement. I'm not even playing the whole thing. It's just a nice piece. Hey, Pige, is your game good yet? Nope, not yet. It's getting there, though. I'll show you what we did today. So when you hire an adventurer, they now appear in your town and walk around, and they have the proper walking animation set up, and they can act as workers. So when you have items, they can go pick them up and put them in the right slots. It used to be that you needed to hire workers specifically for that. But now your adventurers do that. And when you enter a battle, right now they'll just like disappear immediately. But yeah, it disappeared from here, went into the battle. And then when it's done, it'll pop back into town. And if it was holding an item, it'll still be holding an item. So I think this is a pretty good change. That way there's a reason to keep your adventurers in town. So if you had hired a bunch of them, they will, here, let me just do this. There we go. So if you'd hired a bunch of them, then they'll be the ones that take your items. I guess we're also spawning workers. I should probably not do that. Yeah. I don't have an AI command, but maybe you're looking for Copilot. That's the AI I use. But yeah, I'm excited. Elden Ring DLC. I didn't know there was DLC for that game. I bet it looks slightly better. Delicious in Dungeon series turned out to be awesome. I haven't even heard of this. Oh, an anime? Okay, that's probably why I haven't heard of it. I was gonna say I tend to just ignore animes. I mean, looks cute from the Wikipedia image, which is this. Oops. Ah, I closed the wrong thing. Actually, I just saw the Nintendo Direct page. I don't know if you took a look at that, but there's a new Zelda game coming out, Metroid Prime 4 coming out next year. What's your take on AI? Will it replace human programmers soon? I don't think it'll replace them soon, but I think there's been something kind of interesting happening in the industry in the last couple years. So once COVID ended, I feel like a lot of companies that were on this meteoric rise had kind of crested the hill and then started on this downward slope. And we've seen a lot of layoffs. I think at least some portion of those layoffs are due to sort of industry pressure. I think some of them are also due to increased efficiency from the remaining workers. I think part of that increased efficiency is due to AI. So, I mean, you saw me talk about this today, but I was coding something. It doesn't even matter what. I was coding something. I wrote a line of code. I just pressed enter or whatever, and then the AI just filled in whatever I was doing. And it's like that saves enough seconds here and there where you get done with your tasks sooner. You are fresher when you're coming to tasks. You code fewer bugs maybe. And I think those things stack up when you hire, 10,000 different software engineers. So I don't see it replacing programmers very soon, but I think that as this gets better and better and better, and it has larger text bases to work off of or code bases to work off of, I think it could eventually start, like, how do I say this? Replacing people in aggregate. Again, imagine if you have 10,000 workers and they all get 1% better. You haven't replaced any individual worker, but since they're working faster, you just don't need as much of a workforce. So maybe you just don't rehire people and you have attrition and you're down to 9,500 people and you think, yeah, that's about where we need to be. And hey, there's, 500 jobs that aren't there anymore. It is cute. Plot's mostly comedic. Has food and monsters and dungeons. Is it on Netflix by any chance? Because the only subscription services I have right now are Netflix and I think YouTube Premium. So if it's on Netflix, I could try checking it out. Okay, yeah. Delicious in Dungeon. All right. I'll write that down. I don't mind taking a look. I've always said that helping workers be more productive is how taking jobs actually looks in real life. I think it probably does more nowadays, yeah. But I think there were times when a machine just literally replaced a person. And I think elevator operator is a good example of that. Although maybe that's not a good example of that. But like I imagine there are a lot of factory jobs that have been fully automated. It's like how many M&Ms get produced every minute? Did humans ever make M&Ms? And if so, how long ago was that? The seconds of typing you save, but not losing focus or falling on his own. Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. I think the faster you go from what you're trying to do to actually doing it, I think the less you have to context switch. Have I watched Sherlock Holmes? Is that the one on Netflix with Benedict Cumberbatch? Because I think I've watched maybe 2 or 3 seasons of that. I started to lose interest at some point. I generally I have a hard time finishing series. I recently I had started BoJack Horseman, The Magicians, Boss Girl because I was on the plane and had just downloaded it, not knowing what it was. I didn't finish any of these. I didn't finish Suits. I tend to just get bored at some point and just drop shows. I never finished Lucifer either, I guess. Manifest. Actually, these are list of shows I started but didn't finish. I guess the list is pretty extensive. What airline did I travel with? I don't totally remember, but um, I think one of them was one of the Spanish ones. I mean, probably from the U.S. It was like Delta or something. M&M Mines. I drop shows when they get bad. I don't even necessarily drop them when they get bad. I just sort of lose interest at some point. I think when a show is about to end, I always feel like, what's the point watching more if I know that it's going to end and I won't be able to watch anymore after it? That show depressed me for months. I made it pretty far in BoJack. I got to like season 5 or 6. I just I just tried watching again recently, and I'm just like, I don't care about this. Oh, Iberian, I think. Why do you ask, Capillara? I'm very curious about this. I want to clean up this list. I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna write Thursday, clean up this list, and I don't have a bunch of dangling days. This was the old Monday stuff. Good. There we go. Just wondering if, oh no, I didn't go with the Dutch one. No. The only Dutch one? What is the Dutch one called? Dutch airline. KLM? No, I don't think I've ever been on that. Typically drop shows when there's a new season. Try to avoid shows that haven't finished as a result. I started watching YouTube recaps. Those are really helpful. They're maybe about 10 minutes long. Like my wife and I, before we watched The Witcher, which is the last one I remember watching a recap for, we watched a recap. And it really helps remind you of what happened. Unfortunately, whatever we watched from The Witcher was pretty bad. It had one of the worst episodes in television I think I've ever seen. If you have one character walking around a desert for like 40 minutes, it's probably going to be bad. Not even Dune has one character walking through the desert for 40 minutes, and it's a movie about deserts. Oh yeah, season 1 was great. I yeah, I was super impressed by season 1, and especially the cinematography. There were so many just gorgeous shots in that series. And then season 2 still had great cinematography. And actually, I don't remember a lot about season 3 other than that stupid desert episode, but it was not as impressive. Hard time finishing games you get attached to? Huh. I don't think I have that problem. Yeah. That's what Mad Max is. I haven't seen Mad Max. And now what am I watching? I just finished Glow again. I like Glow. I think it's a really good show. But yeah, I guess I'm not really watching anything right this second. Maybe Delicious in Dungeon or whatever it's called. Maybe that'll be my next series. Yeah. Fargo's. I haven't seen the show. I've only seen the movie, and I like the movie. Seen Ozark. I think I tried. That's another problem I have is it takes a lot for me to watch like one episode of a show. And I'll typically stop after like 10 or 15 minutes if I'm not enjoying it. So yeah, I just couldn't get into it. I should probably give that one another shot though. I think it's got good reviews. Love the Witcher 3 game. Read the first book, watched the first 2 seasons, stopped because it clearly deviated from the spirit of the story. I didn't try the book, but my wife read it and she said that the writing is not very good. So she actually had to stop, and she like rarely stops reading a book. She almost always finishes. And she reads a ton of books every year. I've been watching it in French. Oh, cool. Yeah. Just didn't care after the first 1 or 2 seasons. It can be hard sometimes. What was that show? Succession, I think. Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah. This show. This show I would describe as being about a bunch of jerks. And because they were all jerks, I just didn't care what happened to any of them and just stopped watching pretty early on, like 2 episodes. I was like, I want all of these people to fail, so why am I watching this show? And maybe some people get into that, and that's the point. It's like watching awkward comedies. Some people just can't do it. I should probably get going because, for one, I only expected to be chatting here for a little bit. I don't like being in a category and not having the category match what I'm doing. But also, I want to try again on Friday and see if I've like mostly recovered. Have I seen Stan Lee's Lucky Man? No, I haven't. When the consequences start catching up with him. That's what I wanted to see, though. I want to see that early on. All right, let's go raid somebody. Oh, the new Paper Mario is out and Tina's playing it. All right, let's go raid Tina. I'm going to only stick around for a little bit because I want to go back to resting. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the ludicrous amount of subscriptions, mostly Capillara and Crows. And thank you all who individually subbed. I'll be back on Friday. Tomorrow I'm going to try to just kind of catch up on things, life stuff, programming stuff. And then Friday will hopefully be a normal day where even in the afternoon things are just kind of fine. So yeah, thank you all for watching. See you later.